In alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our Aqidah class. And tonight we're continuing with chapter 16 of the book Diluting Wala Wal Bara, which is written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid's book. You can purchase this book by going to Amazon.com. The book is $19.95. And I strongly encourage you guys to purchase it because whatever sales go to help support Safa'USA.org, which is the school from kindergarten through 12th grade, which your all Muslim kids need to enroll in. And that way he can keep the tuition low for you guys. If you guys buy the books, that keeps the tuition low. So you can put your kids in the school. So please go to Amazon.com and buy the book. And we're continuing with chapter 16, which is a very informative chapter, because in this chapter, what Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid has done is he's showing the correlation between the Shahadah and Wala Wal Bara. He's breaking down how when we declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, we're not just declaring that we believe in Allah and worship him alone, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his last apostle. Okay, we're not just saying that. We're not just saying that we believe that Allah is the creator of mankind. We're not just saying that Allah is the all-knowing, the all-wise. We're not just pledging allegiance to his names and all of that. We're not just saying that we believe, everything Allah commands us to believe, such as paradise, hell, what happens in the grave, and all of that. But we're also saying that our allegiance is to him, to his prophet, to the religion, and to each other. Okay, so I really like how he's taken this chapter and is breaking it down to show how the Shahada and Wala Wal Bara, which is allegiance and disassociation, how they correlate, how they're the same. So let's put the PowerPoint. What's this? Oh, let me come out of there. Let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And I got so many windows open. If something happens and I'm not screen sharing, let me know, because I'm looking at so many different windows. Which one is PowerPoint? Okay, this one up here. Okay. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Okay, everybody get your books out. Get your book out so you can follow along. We're going to be starting. This is chapter 16. We'll be picking up where we left off on the section that speaks about strengthening faith through its declaration. The declaration is the Shahada. That's what the Shahada is, the declaration of faith. Okay. And this is the Shahada. I like how they can do this choreography. This is the Shahada, believe it or not, the La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I like this picture, how they made it look like a person with their Shahada finger up praying. Now the Shahada, this is our declaration of faith. This is what brings us into the folds of Islam. That Shahada, that La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, this is the universal declaration of faith, which is what our belief system is composed of. When we declare La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, this is what shapes our belief, our actions, and our behavior. We say it with the tongue, but it goes into our heart and emulates through our limbs. And every time we make salat and we recite the tashahhud, that's why you need to learn the tashahhud. Every time we're in that sitting position, like this calligraphy is showing, and we raise that finger, what we are doing is, again, reaffirming our belief system with those words. And of course, the Shahada begins with the negation part, which is la ilaha. And what are we negating? We're rejecting anything or anyone who professes to be worthy of worship other than Allah. We're also rejecting our desires, our feelings and emotions that may stand in the way of our allegiance to Allah. So that's the first part of that Shahada. And we spent the past week speaking about La ilaha illallah. Okay? And also the second part, illallah. La ilaha, the second part, illallah. This is the affirmation part. The affirmation part is we're affirming that Allah is one, that Allah is worthy of worship, that He's the creator. All the names of Allah go into that illallah. And Muhammadur Rasulullah, we're acknowledging the guidance and teachings brought to us by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why when I did the story of Maria yesterday, I had to emphasize to you guys to understand that the Prophet Muhammad was a human being. He was a man. And he told us we obey him in everything that he tells us to do in regards to this religion. But when it comes to issues that have nothing to do with the religion, we don't have to obey him because he was a human being. He was capable of making mistakes, just like he made the mistake and turned away from the blind man who came asking him about the religion. He didn't think that the blind man was serious. Okay? Just like he made the mistake and told a farmer to not harvest a date palm tree. And as a result, the tree didn't yield any dates. That's when he said, I'm just a human. You didn't have to do what I said do. I just gave you my thoughts. You obey me when it comes to the religion. But when it comes to everyday life, that's different. I'm a human. I can make mistakes. Just like yesterday, when I did the story of Maria, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made one mistake. And that mistake was to appease his wife Hafsa. He swore an oath. He swore to abandon something that's lawful for him to appease her. And Allah relieved him of that oath. He said, you don't allow your wives to cause you to make haram for you something that Allah made lawful for you that's good and clean, such as your woman, Maria, because they were jealous of Maria. Okay? And also that proved that he was a prophet and not a god. Because remember, he didn't know that Hafsa would come home so soon. He stayed at her house because that's his house. And Maria was his slave. The slaves live wherever. They don't have their own homes. They live wherever their owner has them live. Okay? So he figured Hafsa would be gone for a while. So why go anywhere else? I'm just going to go to my house and I'll bring Maria with me there. Okay? Had he known that Hafsa would have come home earlier than expected, and he wouldn't have taken her there. So that also shows that he was not a god, that he was a prophet. He was a man. He can't predict the future just like none of us can. So Allah has things happen for a reason. That whole story, the whole story of Maria, radiallahu anha, Allah had all that play out for a reason. To also show we believe Muhammadur Rasulullah, that he is the last and final messenger of Allah, and we obey him in everything he commands us to do when it comes to this religion. Okay? But he was not a God. Okay? We don't worship him. Just like we don't worship Jesus. Just like we don't worship Moses. So everything that happened in his life was a learning tool for us. Okay? So that's the Shahada. Also, the Shahada shapes our belief by instilling a deep understanding of what it means to only worship Allah. If you truly understand the meaning of that Shahada, you understand that Allah should be first, that he comes before your mother, he comes before your children, he comes before Allah. Okay? And then when you break down the names of Allah, you should find it easier, just like you guys are doing here. Every time we do a name of Allah, I see you guys are getting better and better and better at it. You're breaking down those names better. Okay, because you're understanding what our allegiance entails, what our allegiance to him entails, because of this class I'm teaching here. So that's why you guys are getting better and better and better at it. Okay, that Shahada also influences our perception of the world, our purpose in life, and our accountability to Allah. We're living in trying times right now. Allah is testing all of us with what's going on over there with Israel and Palestine. How do we get through it? Our belief, like the Prophet said, when the days of fitan come, war and calamities such as that, how will the believers get through it? Their faith will get them through it. Our belief in that Shahada. And Allah says he sends tests and trials and hardships to test us, to see if our iman is really strong. If we truly do understand that Shahada, you should be able to look around you and see which Muslims truly understand what La ilaha illallah is about by the way they're behaving, by the way they're acting right now with all this that's going on in the world. You should be able to see who the true scholars are and who the perpetrators are, who the frauds are. You see brothers still bashing each other and debating and arguing. Those people ain't nobody. Okay? You see people panicking and cursing, Muslims cursing other people and cursing countries and cursing people. We don't behave that way. Okay? So you can see who truly believes and who doesn't. So that Shahada, it shapes our belief. And it shapes our actions. And that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you can tell how strong a person is in their faith when a hardship happens. Okay? So, this is why, as Muslims, we should constantly reevaluate ourselves. Not constantly, but on a regular basis. You want to sit down one-on-one with Allah and yourself, just Allah and you, and evaluate yourself at least once a month, to see if you're making any progress regarding your relationship with him, if you're making any advancement regarding your relationship with him. And it's all through that Shahada, that La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And so now I want everyone to ponder this. Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, know, O Muhammad, that there is no deity except Allah. In other words, Allah is telling us, understand that there is no nothing worthy of worship except him. That's what he's saying here. This verse underscores the exclusivity of Allah's worship. It also highlights our duty to submit to him, and to submit to him totally. If you submit to him totally, then you would not deliberately, intentionally disobey him. And again, I have to bring up that hijab because I have a lot of sisters here who still are not wearing hijab, who still are not dressing correctly. If you truly believed La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, if you truly believe that there is no one or nothing worthy of worship but him, you wouldn't have a problem putting that hijab on. You wouldn't have a problem putting that abaya on. You wouldn't have a problem wearing sandals that are closed-toed. That's another email I got today. Another sister asking me why. She doesn't understand why we have to cover the top of our foot. You have to cover the top of your foot because Allah said so, number one. Number two, it's part of your nakedness. There's a lot of men and women who have feet fetishes. They have a foot fetish. If you ever come upon a person with a foot fetish, it'll make a lot of sense as to why you have to cover your feet, the top of your foot. But the bottom line is, if you truly believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you would submit. You would just do it, whether you understand why or not. That's what Muslim means. One who submits. I'm going to submit to what my Lord is telling me to do. I worship him. I don't worship the people. It shouldn't bother you what other people think. And you should never think yourself to be greater than Allah. Subhanallah. So again, guys, that Shahada, everything begins with and ends with that. Okay? Listen to what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. And I want you new sisters, especially those of you who have a problem with the hijab and abaya, to pay attention. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whoever testifies La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and believes it and lives it, Allah has forbidden the hellfire from him. Subhanallah. That's the key. You don't just say it. You have to believe it and enact it. Death can come at any moment. Those Muslims over there in Palestine, they don't know when death is going to come. Like they say, it can come maybe tonight, maybe when I leave out of here. Death can come at any moment. The question is, are you ready for it? Well, when that angel of death appears, because you will see him, and he comes to collect your soul, you're going to know. Those angels are going to tell you whether you going to hell or not. You will know. Oh, yeah, you will know. The thing is, do you want your soul to be pulled and placed in that stinky, funky, dirty burlap sack when they take you up? Or do you want it to go in a beautiful, sweet-smelling cloth? It's all how you were living your life. Were you in submission? Were you in submission to your Lord, sisters? You sisters better cover up. You got to stop asking why. And instead ask how. You understand? The believer doesn't ask why. The believer asks how. So don't ask me why do you have to cover your feet. Just ask me how. And I'll tell you, socks don't get it. Socks don't get it because the socks just hides the color. And we all know color don't make you beautiful. Okay? Put a shoe on. a closed-toe shoe on, a shoe that covers the top of your foot. So don't ask why, ask how, if you truly believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, because these are the people who Allah will never allow the hellfire to touch. Why? Because these are the people that live their life here earning his love. Remember, guys, Allah, he loves for us to submit to him. He loves for us to obey him. That's how we earn his love. Because when you really believe in him, you're going to do the deeds that are pleasing to him. You will even go so far as to do the voluntary deeds, knowing that it's something that pleases him. And this is how we earn his love. And Allah has promised. There's another authentic hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah has promised to never allow the hellfire to touch anyone whom he loves. Now you tell me if that ain't enough to make you cover up your feet and put a abaya on and a hijab, a khimar like I'm wearing. Not a turban, a khimar like what I have on, and an abaya, not a pair of pants and a top. Abaya. That's how you earn Allah's love. And he promises he'll never allow the hellfire to touch anyone whom he loves. Subhanallah. So again, there's many hadiths like this where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasizes the significance of the Shahadah and truly living up to it, truly honoring it. Because if you honor that Shahadah, this is our salvation. This is what leads to your salvation. And this is what leads to your protection from the hellfire and protection in this world too. Also, let's look at another verse. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and we did not send before you any messenger who we did not tell to tell his people that there's no deity but me, so worship me. So again, in this verse, Allah is letting us know that every prophet he sent came with the same message. Worship Allah alone. So our Shahada, the La ilaha illallah, this was a part of the message that every prophet that came before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with. Okay? And this is why it's important for us to break down the meaning of that La ilaha illallah like we're doing in this class, so we truly understand it and we can honor it. If you truly understand the meaning of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you wouldn't think about a birthday. You wouldn't even want to celebrate a birthday. Because you know, this, my allegiance ain't to me. That's kind of arrogant. Who am I to think that I'm worthy of worship? What are you saying? My allegiance is to me because I was born. You got to bake me a cake, bring me money, bring me gifts. Who am I? I'm just a peasant. I'm not Allah. So if a person understands that La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you wouldn't think of celebrating no birthdays. Not yours, not your children's, or anyone else. You wouldn't think about celebrating Thanksgiving because it's just not part of my culture. That's a cultural thing. That's not my culture. My culture teaches me to give thanks to Allah every day, not just one day out the year. You look at these non-Muslims. They've been drinking and partying and fornicating and doing drugs all year round. But now they're going to put the drugs down, put the fornication down just for a few hours so they can thank their Lord. Come on. This is totally in opposition to us. We don't do that. We thank our Lord every day, many times a day. So I'm not going to take part in that. Send me a plate. Yeah, I'll take some turkey. Mom, you want to bring me some turkey and dressing? Bring it. Or now, again, there's exceptions to this. Let me clarify this because I got some of the new Shahadahs here. Like they asked me last week, you're off from work. This is the one time that you can be with your family. So can you participate in the family gathering? They're not celebrating Thanksgiving, but they're gathering as a family. That's different. Yes, you can do that. In fact, that's probably going to be happening here with me. I just got the call yesterday from my daughter. I got some family coming in town that I ain't seen in 20 years. Because it's that time of year, everybody can get off work. The professionals can get off work. So my daughter just called me and let me know, Mom, we might be coming over there this week, okay, because so-and-so is coming in town and I know you haven't seen her in 30 years and cousin such and such coming in, your sister-in-law, my ex sister-in-law coming in town who I ain't seen. How long I've been divorced? 100 years ago. Yeah, okay, that's different. If that's the only time you can meet with your family and stuff like that, that's different, sisters. And yeah, you can eat the turkey and the dressing if they cooked it. Okay? I'll probably be eating pizza because I don't cook. So if the people come to visit me, I'll order some halal pizza with some pepperoni and stuff on it. Okay, so there's exceptions to everything. But for the rest of us, it's not about no celebrating. We don't celebrate nothing that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't teach us to celebrate. Why? Because our allegiance is to him and to Allah and to this religion. It's not to any other culture. Our culture. I want all the new Shahadas to remember Islam is not just a religion, it's a way of life. This is your culture. Our culture is Islam. And that's it. Everybody understand that? So that's why we don't do holidays. It's not our culture. So the more we deepen our understanding of that Shahada, the closer we become in our relationship with Allah, and also our knowledge, our faith will grow more. And we'll end up having actions and behaviors that are pleasing to Allah. In turn, when Allah does take our soul, inshallah, we die in good standing with Allah. And again, that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever says la ilaha illallah sincerely from his heart will enter paradise. But it has to be sincere. It can't just be mere words. Like Allah tells us in the Quran, just because we say we believe in him is not enough. We have to prove it through the choices we make in life. Prove it through your choices. And again, the Shahada reminds us of our purpose. We were created to worship Allah. That's what our purpose is. A lot of non-Muslims struggle with that. They struggle wondering what's their purpose. Our purpose is to worship Allah. Why am I here? Allah created me to worship him. And Allah created me to be tested, to see if I'll be of the right hand or the left hand. Hello? The choice is mine. Allah already knows what my choice will be, but he doesn't make it for me. I make it myself. He just knew what it would be. So that's the purpose of our existence, is to worship Allah, to either choose him or the hellfire. Okay? So now let's see how well you guys understood this. And I tried to keep this chapter, this section of the chapter simple for the new Shahadahs. I'm going to give you a quiz now to see how well you understand this. Let's look at the first question. The Shahadah shapes the actions of the Muslim by bringing about what type of examples of behavior? If you truly believe in a Shahada, what type of behavior will you show to others? In other words, let's see your answers. What type of behavior will you show to others if you truly believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah? Y'all see I kept it simple.
I would say patience, humility, kindness.
MashaAllah, those are some good answers. Y'all hear her answer? Patience, that's one type of behavior. Humility, that's another. Anybody else? What's some more? Good job, Geechee. What other type of behaviors?
Respect and honesty.
MashaAllah, good job. Respect. You'll be more respectable. You'll be an honest person, more honest in your interaction with others. You'll deal with people with kindness, honesty. You won't go around oppressing people. A lot of people ask Sister Layla, why is it that the Zionists, why is it that these people, these Zionists, they can kill babies, they can bomb hospitals, they can kill innocent people, a baby? It's because they don't believe in Allah. Y'all understand that? That's why I tell you guys, this is not a war against the Palestinians. This is a war against Allah. The Zionists, they are the awliya of Shaitan. They are the followers of the Antichrist. They don't believe in Allah. They don't want no religion on earth. They want the earth to consist of nothing but no religion, just their laws, their rules. They want to occupy the entire earth, free it of any people that believe in anything other than them and their rules. These are the people that pave the way for Ad-Dajjal. So when you don't believe in Allah, that means your heart is hardened. These people have no love in their heart, no honesty. They have no respect in their heart, no compassion, no empathy. Their hearts are hard. So they can kill a baby. They can blow up a hospital with sick people in it and laugh while they're doing it. Like the videos you see. They can blow up a church, blow up a mosque, blow up a synagogue and laugh while they're doing it because their hearts are hard. They don't believe in Allah. These are the worst people, and Allah will deal with them. Okay? So again, if a person truly believes in Allah, there are certain behaviors and actions that you will adopt. You'll become kind, considerate, empathetic, sympathetic, trustworthy. You'll have dignity. Good job, Sakina. You'll treat people the way you want to be treated. Good job, Amina. And you'll be distinct. You'll be different. You won't live your life trying to please the people. You could care less what people think about you. You're only going to be concerned with what Allah thinks about you. That's if you truly understand that Shahada. Do you new Muslims understand that? Do you new sisters understand that? Y'all better put those hijabs on. Stop coming up with all these excuses as to why you ain't practicing your religion. And the same for you brothers. You better wear your beards. Grow your beards and start going to the mosque, you brothers. Okay, let's look at the next question. Oh, well, I'm looking at how I wrote this. You can tell I was talking or something. Belief in Allah, or was I saying illallah? Okay. Also, the part of the Shahada where we say that where we say illallah, the part of the Shahada in which we say illallah. This entails believing what names of Allah? Believing in what type of names of Allah? Give me some examples of some of the names of Allah that fall in this category of illallah. The first one should be easy. Allah is one. Exactly. Allah is one. That's it. What else? Give me another name of Allah that clearly defines how Allah is illallah, or how we believe illallah. Wahid, good job. We just went over that name the other day. Good job, Brother Ibrahim. Wahid.
Could we also say Malik?
Who? What did she say? Okay.
Malik.
Okay, what does that mean? What does Malik mean, guys? Y'all got to be able to tell me what it means, like these brothers are doing. Okay, good job. Sakina, the creator. Exactly. Allah is the creator. We believe illallah. I believe that Allah is one. That's wahid. I believe that Allah is the creator. Good job, Sakina. I believe that Allah is the sustainer. Good job, Sakina, again. Okay. And what you said, king. I believe that Allah is king of the universe. What other names, guys?
One of them is the originator.
Exactly. Allah is the originator. That's what I want. I want y'all to give me these names in English, because when you give them to me in English, you're pondering the meaning of them. That's why I told her, what does Malik mean? What are you saying? I don't want y'all to play the Arabic game where people go around memorizing Arabic and don't know what the heck they're saying. No. What else? Give me some more English. I believe Allah is the one. I believe that Allah is the originator. I believe Allah is the sustainer. Good job.
The unique.
Allah is Akbar, the greatest.
Allah is the greatest. Good job. That's real powerful. And that's something that we need to work on. Allah is the greatest, not Israel, not America. Y'all need to ponder that. Allah is the greatest. Nothing can happen unless Allah wills it to. He's in control. That's another name. Allah is the controller. Good job, the controller.
The Almighty, Al-Aziz.
Yeah, the Almighty. Good job.
Also, Allah is the unique one and also the powerful one.
The powerful one. Yeah, I want y'all to come with those words like that. Because when you ponder the names of Allah, what does it do? There's a lot of Muslims out there freaking out. Where's Brother Ahmad? Where's Brother Ahmad? There's a lot of Muslims out there that's having a hard time dealing with life. And I told you guys last week, when you find yourself suffering with anxiety, when you find yourself suffering with depression, if what's going on in the world is bothering you, take the names of Allah and break them down, because it kicks you back into focus. Allah is in control. Allah is the one that sustains. Allah is the avenger. That's another name. He's the avenger. He's the punisher. You know what I'm saying? When y'all start breaking those names of Allah down, that'll knock you out of that anxiety about what's going on in the world. You will see that Allah is in control. Everything that's happened is because He said for it to happen. And it ain't going to stop unless He says for it to stop. And He knows what He's doing. Allah, it knows exactly what He's doing. Are you doing what you should be doing? Allah says He sends war as a means of showing us the things we need to work on within ourselves, our shortcomings, who we need to listen to, who we need to follow. Were we really following the righteous people before this, or were we following people that wasted our time with debates? You're supposed to be evaluating yourself. When we experience calamities, you're supposed to evaluate yourself and work on changing. The prophet said, what did the prophet say? Allah will never change the condition of a people until we first change the condition of ourselves. So with this war in Palestine going on, what every other Muslim on the earth should be doing, besides making dua for those Muslims over there, is also working on yourself, changing the condition of yourself, so that when those rockets hit America, because they will, when those rockets hit the United Kingdom, oh, they will. When those rockets hit Australia, they will. Will you be able to handle it the way those Muslims over there are? That's the question. So we should be working on changing ourselves, not sitting around freaking out and acting stupid and crying and slandering our own Muslim brothers and sisters. Okay. Okay, good job. Let's see. Let's look at the next question. Good job. What about this? Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This entails believing what about him? When we pronounce Muhammad Rasulullah, that's the second half of that Shahada. What are we saying that we believe in regards to him? This entails, what are we saying that we're believing in regards to him?
That we believe and accept everything he tells us and teaches us about this religion.
Exactly. Everything he tells us, we accept it. Everything that he taught us, just like he taught us how to handle ourselves in war. He's the one that told us when war comes, you should be trying to change the condition of yourself. The prophet said, fill the masjids up. You want to impress your enemies. Fill the masjids up. How many of you brothers are doing the 5 prayers at the mosque since this stuff happened? You be all that protesting. I see millions and millions of Muslims protesting, but how many of them men are at the mosque? The prophets didn't say protest. He said, fill the masjid up in times of hardship. Stand together, show solidarity, fill the masjids up. Show solidarity by greeting your brothers and sisters. When you see them, when you walk past them on the street, give them salams. Show your solidarity by dressing the part, behaving the part. I still don't see you women with the hijabs on. Y'all doing all that protesting. You still look just like Cardi B. But her protesting is better than yours. Okay? We're supposed to be doing solidarity and working on ourselves. Show solidarity by dressing the part, acting the part, filling the masjids up, strengthening our relationships with each other within our communities. That's what we should be doing. But we don't see that. I see all this protesting. The masjids empty. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Sakina said, we believe that he is the last prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we recognize and follow his example and teachings. Exactly. What else? What else are we saying? Yeah, go ahead.
We also believe that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, not only is he the last prophet, he is also he also conceals the whole prophethood, meaning there's not going to be another one, and he's like the sealer of the prophets.
Okay, and how does that relate to today? If there is no prophet after him, nobody knew this religion better than him, how can we apply that to today to change the condition of ourselves today? Because we say that, but we don't show it. What is it that's going on in the world today with Muslims? If we truly believe Muhammad Rasulullah, that he's the last messenger, how can we incorporate that in our interaction with each other? Come on, guys, think. My students don't get off into that stuff, but the rest of you on Facebook, think, and YouTube, think. You can stop all this meth app following. Hello. If you truly believe Muhammad Rasulullah, then why is it you got to check with your sheikh? If I show you a hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the lawful and the unlawful have been clearly defined by Allah, that's an authentic hadith. So I'm telling you that if you're going to tell me that it's haram for me to wear makeup, you have to bring me the clear evidence, because that's what that hadith says. And you turn around and tell me, no, Sheikh so-and-so said that's not true. Sheikh so-and-so said, then you don't believe Muhammad Rasulullah, because your Sheikh, your Mufti. And I keep telling you guys, let me talk about Mufti for a minute. I ain't talking about a person. I'm talking about the name Mufti. What's up with these young brothers calling themselves Mufti? Do y'all know the meaning of that Arabic term? None of the companions would ever, not Abu Bakr, not Umar, no companion would ever refer to himself as a Mufti. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would never refer to himself as Mufti. But I see 20 and 30-year-old young boys who graduated from Medina calling themselves Mufti. Are you insane? You better take that name on somewhere. Or I see other famous personalities calling themselves Mufti, Sheikh Mufti. That's arrogance in the worst degree. And I'm surprised that these famous speaking brothers have not addressed that. I have to send some emails. Why come these famous brothers ain't addressed that these young kids calling themselves Mufti? You ain't no Mufti. Why would you even want to be that? Why would you even profess to be that? Oh, I see. One of the famous brothers said, you got that right, sister. I see. I got an audience. Wait a minute. Let me text him back. Little shake. Hey, I got an audience. He said, you right. He said, you got that right. Oh, that's right. What's up with this mufti stuff? We got to be careful. We want to know why Allah sent the war. We got about 1 million muftis. And all these muftis, they still don't know Muhammadur Rasulullah. You a mufti, man, and you still don't understand Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Y'all better take that mufti stuff on. Anybody call himself a mufti, y'all better run away from him. Run away from a mufti. That's an arrogant term. Arrogant. Huh? What happened?
I was going to say, even when in the time of the companions, when people would go and ask them questions about something the Prophet would say, none of them were quick to answer. They didn't even want to be the one to answer. They would tell them to go into so-and-so companion.
Exactly. They would say, don't put me on that level. That's the lesson that Moses, alayhi salam, had to learn. Moses had to learn that he wasn't a mufti. There's always somebody out there that knows more than you. So I'm telling y'all, anybody calling himself a mufti, that's a person that's arrogant as heck. That's a person that has no humility. And that person better hope he never meets Umar or Ibn Abbas or Aisha, them companions, because they'll probably take his head off. How dare you call yourself a mufti? Are you crazy? All right, so be careful of that stuff, guys. You know, we say we believe Muhammadur Rasulullah, but look at our actions. Our actions don't show it. Our titles, the titles we give ourselves, don't show that. Okay? All right, let's see. I think, is that one more? Yeah, that was the last question. So, mashallah, this completes chapter 16. Chapter 16 of the book. Okay, and again, I want y'all to think about it. La ilaha illallah. That shahada, we are negating anything that contradicts that Allah is one and that he's the sole entity worthy of worship. We're also affirming all of Allah's names, everything that he says about himself, everything that he's told us about the Prophet and all of that. So the Wala Wal Bara is the Shahada. Y'all see that? It is the Shahada. That's that allegiance and disassociation. If you understand that Shahada, you wouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. You wouldn't celebrate no birthday parties. You wouldn't celebrate any non-Muslim holiday. You wouldn't celebrate El-Quds Day either. If you truly believe that. You would, because I'm telling you, the Muslims, the Arabs do the same stuff. They got a bunch of crazy holidays too. Okay? No El-Quds Day. Our allegiance is not to El-Quds. Our allegiance is to Allah, to the Prophet, to the Muslims in this religion. Okay? We don't introduce, things into this religion that our Prophet didn't introduce and make them dear to us, that he didn't make dear to us on that level. Y'all understand? We follow his example. All right.